other brothers in the arena, but it will be Kristi Caulfield who breaks off first. That patented fierce strike. Cue ball is going to stay on the table. What's the leave like? I think he's jawed at the bottom of the table. Does he have anything going upstairs? He puts every sinew into that break, Kristi Caulfield. Really just flies at it. Enormous power. You can see the reaction because he is jawed at the bottom of the table. Would have loved to have been on that red. As it is, I'm not sure they're on a whole lot here. Oh, this is tough. Yeah, no huge surprise to see that one missed. It was so tricky for Phil Parkin. It was the sort of obvious play. That didn't make it any easier. So, first real opportunity, you feel like, in the frame is going to go to the chambers.
It's far from an easy one, though, isn't it? It's this is not a very inviting layout, and we talk about how important the opening Scotch frame is all the time. If you go, you've got to get them. And they should go here. It's just a couple of really big shots to play along the way.
So yellow is the colour set for John and Rob.
Not sure about this as a... Should they have dealt with the one at the bottom first? Now they've obviously mopped up the three at the top. I mean, this one goes easy. John could have played that one to left centre and just dropped it in, and then you've got the one to bottom right to play into the red and yellow together, and then see where you are after that, rather than mopping these three up. Now it's not on for them to play the breakout here, so obviously he's trying to avoid that and go into it on that shot. So maybe the other way around would have been better for them.
They still have a shot, but they're not going to have one afterwards, is the issue. Or do they think otherwise?
Well, answers on a postcard here what they're trying to do.
Are they going to go up top left?
Top left is tough, though, isn't it? I mean,
well, I didn't expect it to be easy. But
yeah, but I'm just wondering, it's not just the pot, I'm wondering about it's too thin, it feels like, to do the opening up work as well. Yeah, they were so deep into it, they felt like they should keep going. I mean, we talk about this a lot on the show, but one thing we should really learn from the best player in the game, Tom Cousins, is he goes into the balls as early as he possibly can. There's no, let's mop up this area because we're here or anything like that. It's at all costs go into it as early as possible, and if you can't, don't go.
Look at this, a lesser spotted safety shot from Kristi Caulfield. You don't see many of those. They haven't left this plan, have they?
No, I mean, they're going to take something on. Maybe they can kick into it to make it. Don't think they can go direct. Don't think you can get enough pace on without fouling. Mind you, I don't think you can kick into it and get enough pace on without fouling.
There is a gap. I think this is on. It is.
Oh, what a shot that is! But the cue ball,
it stays on the table.
Wow!
And they're on the one at the top of the table, I think.
There's a gap. There is a gap.
Kristi Caulfield, yeah, face tells the story.
That's why we don't play safe. That's why we don't like doing that. Wow.
That is an unbelievable shot from Rob Chambers.
I did not think that was on for a second.
John Chambers looks like the cat that got the cream behind his brother right now. And why wouldn't you? Because this frame is about to be stolen. Now the focus comes. He's got an 8-ball to make. It's for 1-0. What a finish. Where did that come from? Rob Chambers, that was a little bit special. What a shot this is. It was just because he had that tiny amount of room between cue ball and yellow, and he had, because the cue ball was flying into the cushion, because he could play away from it a fraction, that gave him enough time to get the cue out the way to avoid the foul.
Yeah, that was the thing I didn't see, and obviously I talked about maybe kicking into it, which definitely wasn't on, because you would have fouled. Getting the fact that he was playing it so thin allowed him to have time to get the cue out the way, but it was still incredibly tough to find that line.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant shot. Not an absolutely brilliant break. That's a glare from Rob Chambers, if ever you've seen one. Scratches straight in off. Cardinal sin.
Yeah. They're setting themselves up here. John will play the next 3 frames after this. In Rob's mind, he's thinking, if I could just pull this one out with a break finish, we're setting our partnership up for John to see us home. But the chance goes Kristi Caulfield's way. Not much price on him playing a safety shot here. You'd like to have been on the one in the centre of the table. It doesn't really matter. Just would have made it slightly easier. Again, he would like to have travelled a few more rolls further. It would have been easier again, not just to make the pot, but to control the cue ball. Still not going to be challenging enough to force a mistake.
Well, that was the response they needed after that dramatic start. Just actually a little bit of serenity and control, which is not always what you get from Kristi Caulfield, as you can see, but that was much more like it from the big man.
Parkin's break. On frame 1.
Well, did he strike that break? Incredible.
Bill has got a sneakily good break. Doesn't really ever get talked about in the sort of who's become, you know, who's the best sort of breaker and all the rest of it, but he's got an absolute sledgehammer too.
Yeah, he does, but that's come out messy. 2 reds, red and yellow on the left-hand side. That's your problem. Not sure that double would really be available, so it would be play into it, but he's left the angle to play into it straight away. Only thing you'll say here, if you go into it off this ball, you're knocking the red up into yellows. May not develop it. Oh, catching at half ball is beautiful. That is perfect. Beautiful shot. A little bit between shots here. Not ideal on the one in the middle or the one at the top. Red goes down to bottom left, which helps in this situation.
Extension. Extension, cool.
Brilliant visit to the table. I tell you what, after the start that the Chambers is made, the recovery from Phil Parkin and Kristi Caulfield has been excellent. 2 brilliant visits. And these pair look like they're really enjoying their time out there. And when they can play with that level of freedom and just fun, almost, it makes the game so much easier.
Yeah, I love that. The little debate they have about the way they went about that, even though Phil still made the break clearance. There's still a little debate about which way would you have gone with 3 balls left, and I like seeing that. They're doing it all with a smile on their face. And they're going to get first chance. No, they're not. One of the last balls rolling falls in. Boy, did the Chambers boys need that. Left centre catches a ball. I promise you it did.
Yellow balls in play.
Yellows are a good choice here. Nothing in the way, really. Just pick your route and make sure.
Tell you what, if we go 2-2 here, it's been some standard of match.
Extension calls.
Quite a strong debate here on what they want to do to connect the bottom half to the top half. Red ball in the middle of the table just kind of plays quite big, and you want to make sure that you're not causing yourself an issue when you know you should get them.
Well, they've certainly caused themselves an issue, all right. That could be a huge moment.
It could be a night-defining moment, that. They know they should get that. They know they should get that finish. They couldn't quite work out how to deal with the 3 together at the bottom and then go back up. But whichever way they'd gone, you felt like they should find the execution to make it work, even if it wasn't as easy as it could have been. And they've missed one that they should never miss.
The one thing the Chambers is sort of have in their back pocket, it's not much, but it's something that Phil and Kristi don't have, is that John and Rob still have to play the team that's already been eliminated. Phil and Kristi help make that happen. Phil and Kristi will have to play their last match, whatever this result is, against a very motivated, very good Eddie Barker and Dylan Leary. So with that being said, the Chambers do hold a very slight sort of edge in the final round of fixtures. All this to say is there may still be hope should they be beaten.
There'll definitely be hope, but they'll be so disappointed that they've missed an opportunity here to be 2-2. 3-1 with 5 to play. That's tough work there, especially when it's not their break next.
Yeah, you talk about night-defining moments. How big could that golden break with 1 second of the match be in match number 1? If Kristi and Phil go on to win this, and indeed the night. 3-1. Nice tidy up work from Kristi Caulfield and Phil Parkin. John and Rob Chambers with work to do. And truth be told, they haven't lacked for opportunity.
That's very true. Made more mistakes in this match than it feels like they had made in the previous, which is to say they made 2. But they definitely should have got out on that last visit. That was quite Quite a big error from John.
Frame 5. Kristi Caulfield break.
To that end, what I said earlier, a moment ago, a draw isn't a terrible result for either of these two teams. It still keeps the sort of the night in their own hands, if you like. Kristi again breaks enormously. So the Chambers don't sort of, similar to what the Joneses needed in the last match, they needed to win. Draw's no good to them, really. The Chambers is, if they can scratch 2 frames in the last 5 minutes here, night still very much alive for them. But that might be a tough ask here with the table set as it is for Kristi Caulfield.
Yeah, if they get to the table in this frame, they'll have hope because Rob plays and has the break in the next frame. But they've got to get to the table in this frame, which doesn't look likely. Just that one ball, it looks like a nothing ball. Not the one over the top corner pocket, but the one just below it. It looks nothing, but that's the problem ball. And it remains a problem ball. He's not nice on the one at the top to get onto it by the looks of things. That works though. That's a lovely cannon. That does change things because he's actually got a nice turn of angle just to punch the gap here.
Just like that. Oh, you gotta say, Kristi and Phil have put on a clinic here. Faultless match. They made one, can you call it a safety error in frame number 1? Not really. But other than that, the Coventry Qists are absolutely soaring in the Pairs Cup. They're 1 result away from the last 4, and they're feeling good about that. John Chambers and Rob Chambers will stay exactly where they are. They are still very much in the hunt, but they must win next against the Joneses.